he has gotten this far into the bracket.
Yeah, I think people, we know the VCA champion, always in and around the top 8s or even the top 4s here of these big UK tournaments. But here he is again. It's Peli Modzai. It's Pac-Man Sonic. Get ready, people.
Yeah,
Get charged. Oh, but Peli running straight in.
I was going to say a definite odd start to what we were expecting, but this is sort of more of the gameplay that we're going to expect to see. There is going to be Pac-Man trying to set up these traps, trying to set up the hydrant. Peli having the option select between, do I rush in like we're seeing Peli do a little bit now, or am I going to hang back? Am I going to charge spin dash? Am I going to force the Pac-Man player to come to me? And we can see already at the moment Peli with a really, really stunning start here, only taking 20% compared to Modzai's 50%.
Yeah, that's the thing with Peli. I mean, he is, as we've seen in the set with Mr. R, when he needs to hold back, when he is a stock up, you do know the vibes. But I think as well, the thing that differentiates Peli from some of the other top Sonics is that he actually has a really good advantage state and punish game. Like, I think he's got the full labbed out combos for pretty much the whole cast, and even then, just like a small hit he got at the start of the game, he did what, like 30, 40%? So he's got a small percent lead here.
And he's just making it extend more and more at the moment. That is, in the matter of a sentence, going from, a small lead to over 100% deficit for Modzai, and this is where things can get scary, right? Because both these players, I imagine their typical game plan is going to be force the opponent to approach, be it through the traps or the spin dash. And now one of them is forced to do it, and at the moment it is going to be Modzai, when off that Angel platform, going to be forced to approach Peli in this situation, and Sonic, one of the hardest characters to catch with a lead.
Yeah, Peli looks like he never left. He's playing so good right now. Got a clean stock lead, more or less, here on Modzai. You see, he's kind of happy to kind of wait out Modzai, using the usual setups for Pac-Man, putting the Hydrant out, getting the Gallagher online. Oh, he's trying to cook something there. But yeah, Peli got a massive lead here and keeping running with it.
Well, I love the attempt on the check chase there from Modzai. That definitely would have been an early kill. Those ghosts on the forward smash are way stronger than you would expect.
Yeah.
But certainly Peli not quite going to fall for it. Modzai with a second attempt there. Third attempt, just keep throwing it out. It will happen at some point.
Yeah, it's like Fabs used to tell me, some of the Pac-Man players, their favorite ghost is Blinky. They will throw out the F-smash like crazy. But more damage here from Peli. Yeah, I think Modzai sort of struggling to get a bit of a foothold in the game so far. Some decent damage, though, with that Hydrant.
It does certainly feel like that at the moment. And it's one of those things that we saw, particularly in the set earlier on in Losers 7th against Mr. R and Peli, right? Where getting that damage isn't so much difficult, it's finding that kill. And Peli is extremely good, particularly with that mobility of Sonic, at knowing the kill confirms and the kill conditions that Modzai has, and actively making his game plan to avoid those specific things.
100%, yeah. I think, look, this is why we play Smash, people. This isn't a fighting game with just a life bar. It's all about not just having a percent lead, but a stock lead. And I got to say, Peli, we'll see shortly. We saw for that first stock, he's usually pretty good at finding out closes with Sonic. Sonic, a character that doesn't always struggle to kill, but some Sonics, they kind of sometimes will tunnel vision a little bit, but didn't avoid that one choice.
Didn't quite manage to add all the bell into the back of it, 140%, finally going to take that stock. But of course, Peli there with the weak neutral air on ledge into that. I was expecting the backer, I'll be real with you, but Peli being one step ahead. And like you said, his combo game is ridiculous. He knows the perfect option each and every time, and that up-angled forward smash, just being the perfect option in that moment.
Yeah, that's crazy. The reaction time in a way to know that up-angled F-smash would confirm off the nair. That is why Peli is kind of a lab master in some ways for Sonic. But yeah, full stock lead. This is I'm sure we've said it already. I've not been able to catch the previous block of the commentary, but as they say around these parts, if you're a stock up, you do know the vibes.
We do know the vibes, and nobody knows them better than Peli, of course. And that's, the scary part is that Peli, as we mentioned earlier, has got that option select of being able to really turn on the jets like we're seeing here and getting that percent. And then if he fancies it, he can just spin dash at the edge and force Modzai to approach him. And it's so dangerous when, even when Modzai gets in, he's still got an uphill struggle.
Yeah, it feels like Peli's kind of staying in that kind of burst range where, obviously, Sonic being so fast a character can actually be quite far across the stage and still kind of be in burst range. But he's staying in a range where Modzai just can't kind of charge some of those resources for free, kind of get more of the cycles of better fruit. Because if Modzai just kind of goes for any lazy charges, Peli's just there to spin straight at him, trying to put the Hydrant up. But yeah, Peli playing this matchup immaculately so far.
And that's an aspect of the matchup as well that I didn't really consider until seeing it where, I mean, let's talk about that a little bit later on. Peli shutting me up with a tried and true spin dash into that forward air. And that was a pretty devastating game one, I have to say.
Yeah, low-key, You know what? Maybe we were wrong. I'm happy to hear that game. It did not go to time.
It didn't.
I think we're seeing, you know, two players who want to scrap, or at least from Peli's side. I think Peli's, doesn't want to just sit in the corner when he's got a life lead, which makes sense, right? If you're going up against Pac-Man, don't want him to get endless resources. But yeah, just there's a certain aggression to Peli there that I'm pleased to see. I can't lie.
Yes.
I'm pleased to see it.
I was going to say, it has been a long top 8 so far, and of course, it can be extended further. Again, it is the game plan. It is what can happen and what might be necessary at certain points. But Peli, very much confident in his advantage state, in his combo game, and his aggression as well, and therefore not electing to go to time. But we may see a change in plan, but of course, Modzai has got to prove that the game plan is worth changing.
Yeah, I think it's, look, we've said it on other sets previously. I think sometimes this top 8 has been long, and stamina can really kick in. Peli is no stranger to kind of going for those long grinds. I think Modzai, was it a kind of close game 5, wasn't it, against, I think it was Icon, the Ryu player, of course, who's in Saturn Winners Finals. And, you know, you go those long game 5s, it can take, it can take a lot out of you. So maybe, I don't know, it could be a little bit fatigue setting in for Modzai, but he's got to really be sharp to deal with all of the spinning to willing. The crowd really enjoying Spin Dash right now.
I was going to say, you got to sometimes create your own fun in the crowd, and Modzai is going to really have to watch that shield at this point. Of course, Sonic not really known for their shield breaking options, but certainly when you've been holding shield against that Spin Dash too long, that is the prime opportunity for Sonic to be able to approach and start really pressuring around that range.
Yeah, we've seen Modzai actually not opt too much to try and charge for the kind of the fruits further on in the cycle. He kind of gets to the strawberry or the apple or the orange and just kind of throws it straight at Peli, just if he sees him coming in and doesn't want to kind of get interrupted.
We can see Peli elected to go for that little bit of a slower style, but Modzai managing to catch with the back air, unfortunately getting the weak hit in that situation and a really clutch air dodge. But not quite going yet. Both these players still on their first stock, and that apple, that's such a devious angle as well, is something that we didn't see across game 1. And like you mentioned right at the start, you know, that bag of tricks that Pac-Man players have, and it's just one of those tricks that, you only need to bring it out once a set to make it effective. Yeah,
I think a player like Peli, I feel like you're never going to that often kind of hit him with something that he's not seen before, or at least done a little bit of research on. He's definitely someone who is studious. He's a guy who approaches the game with a lot of analysis. And I feel like Pac-Man, you're not going to get quote-unquote gimmicked, let's say that. I think Peli, I mean, we'll see if Modzai's got anything that Peli's not seen before, but maybe a slightly slower-paced game, Joycey. I didn't want to curse it, but we're a few minutes in and it's high percent. Maybe we are seeing both these guys finally struggle to kill a bit this time.
Yeah, I think when you're both at this higher percent, you want to play it so delicately, right? And the fact that Peli is just able to dictate the pace of the match makes it really, really difficult, particularly when that Hydrant's in play, because at this kind of percent, if either of them messes up and they're both in that range, one of them is definitely going to die for it. So it's really, really difficult, and you can see why the pace is getting a little bit slower. Like there, right? If it was just a little bit, if there were a bit fewer percent on that Hydrant, Modzai could have lost that stock. And it's actually the neutral air that takes Modzai's first stock on the spring to get rid of the invincibility, and now Modzai has noticed that that hill's getting a little bit steeper here, Moke.
Yeah, this is the thing. I mean, oh gosh, I think that was a water-assisted apple there. Modzai shaking the head. He kind of realized the frustration setting in, struggling to kill previously. Got Gallagher in hand. They've got a fresh stock. And look, the crowd loves it. We know what Peli likes to do, just spin back and forth. A stage like PS2 gives you that room to breathe. Gives both these characters room to set up in their own way.
And you can see that element of that delicate gameplay still being the case here. Of course, both these players, both these characters, I should say, having those really decent bread and butters like Peli is showing right now already, doing exactly what Modzai did not want, where you can gather a pretty strong percent lead and then just literally run with it.
Decent damage here coming from Peli. And now it's Modzai again. We've seen Peli will generally set the pace for the most part, even if the life lead isn't too much of an issue, but finally getting a grab. Yeah, I feel like Modzai was actually kind of struggling to hit Peli. Peli was shielding in really kind of good positions there. And of course, you know, Pac-Man's grab, it is good in some respects that it obviously beats the spot dodge, but it takes a while to get going. And so you can shield, but you didn't shield in that.
That's such an early kill in the grand scheme of things, right? Being at about 110% after the hit, particularly when Peli's only at 90%. I mean, it took him, you know, he's only halfway to losing his stock if that first stock was anything to go by. But we can see at the moment here, Modzai just electing to keep center stage, trying not to play anything too risky, trying to pressure that shield there, but Peli just going for the up air out of shield, and the bread and butters, they are continuing here, Mo.
Yeah, it's crazy. I think there was a few situations there, Modzai using that Pac-Man frame data, kind of pressuring Peli's shield. Peli knew exactly when to release shield, when he had an out of shield punish. And Modzai, it feels like he's just, he's trying to think of ideas. He's in the study thinking of how he's going to approach this, because a few things getting stuffed, but finally a crack in the armor there from Peli.
Yeah, the lingering hitbox of the bell there actually messing with Peli. I think he just slightly mistimed that, and now we can see Peli at the edge of the stage. A couple of hits from the Gallagher, but Modzai not wanting to risk anything in fear of that reversal from Peli. And what seemed like a really difficult uphill battle is actually turning into a pretty strong position here for Modzai, trying to chase Peli all the way back up.
Oh, the punish! Oh, the Hydra might have saved there, Joycey. That was crazy. I feel like that was a true confirm into death, but yeah.
And then just charging the fruit a little bit more. Again, at the ledge, forward smash might end up killing Sonic if confirmed off of the bell. Certainly at this point, and just getting a little bit of a neutral, getting that stage positioning, and now suddenly we are in the last stock, last hit position here between these two.
Oh, the scramble here a little bit. I feel like Modzai's landed a few bells now, but they've not been able to get the kind of full, kind of strong hit confirms. As you said, only a nair briefly. And this is the test. We said before, these guys, they can get the damage. They're good at that. Who can close?
It feels like Peli has had a really good idea on the fact that Modzai is going for a lot of these oranges. I wonder if Modzai is trying to bait Peli in to stop the charge all the way to the bell, because if the bell suddenly gets there, then it's suddenly way more difficult for Peli, and he's got to play with a lot more respect.
Ooh! He was fishing for something there. Peli thought Modzai would maybe go back. Hydra disappears. A simple fair. Air dodges out, but he's off stage. He goes for a nair. Less than a minute on the clock. I feel like it probably won't go the distance. We'll see. Great tech.
Just about managing to get back onto stage. 150% on Pac-Man. That shield is getting pressured.
Oh!
And a really suspect DI there. And Modzai takes the game out of nowhere.
Wow. Yeah,
I'll be real,
Modzai.
that was a little bit of an anticlimactic ending, I have to say.
I think there's something that's quite satisfying about the Sonic back air. It's like, it's kind of a big meaty hit. Takes a while to come out. A Pac-Man back air just kind of goes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think it's the swing of the leg from Sonic.
It is the swing of the leg.
Whereas Pac-Man's just... And also Pac-Man looks like a little desperate when he's trying it, because he's got both legs out. There's no confidence. But certainly, Modzai should be feeling a little more confident after that, as close as it was, managing to even up the game count here. 1-1 here in losers quarterfinals. Of course, loser getting 5th place, winner carrying on all the way into losers semi-finals.
Yeah, I got to say, in the start of this game just then, you saw Pac-Man's big beaming grin on the character screen, and then you kind of juxtapose that against Modzai, who basically looked miserable with taking the game against Peli. He knows this is going to be a grind, and he was able to win that time. It's small margins at this level, Joycey, but yeah, another good start here for Peli, and the crowd's loving this.
I was going to say the crowd are having a great time, of course, having a bit of a sing-song. Karaoke was on Friday, and we're keeping the songs going. And we can just see at the moment, again, both of these two players getting each other to really high percent. Very clutch air dodge there from Peli to not get hit by that. And Modzai getting met with another forward smash. And that's another lead that Modzai's got to claw back.
Yeah, again, it feels like small margins. That's another bell that Modzai's landed, but not got like a really strong punish out of it. Like he was trying to set up the shenanigans with the side B, but Peli answering back, reading a roll from ledge with F smash.
And just keeping it going at the moment, 43%, and the aggression is still flowing at the moment. Peli just trying to really extend on this lead and just, again, pressuring Modzai to make sure that that bell isn't in contention. It is at the moment, but we can just see. I think
Modzai finally getting Peli in a ledge trap situation. Oh, bets it all. I think Peli should have been wise to that one, a shake of the head. I think he realized, yeah, I probably shouldn't have. Don't roll into down smash. I mean, happens to the best of us.
It does happen to the best of us, but even so, Peli still making the most of a good situation here. Got Modzai at the ledge. Yep, 2 for 2 on forward smashes to get these kills. And again, that spring just meaning that invincibility, Modzai can't get anything started, can't even charge the fruit as well, unless he wants to put himself in a really horrible position above Sonic, which is where Peli has really been making his money at the moment, just going for these 2 3-piece up airs into a back air to get 40, 50, 60% each and every time.
Yeah, and we've not quite seen the really crazy shenanigans, those long strings from Modzai yet. Kind of nickeling and diming so far. And again, a lot of that perhaps is the fact that we've said before, Modzai kind of often has to stop charging the fruit because there is a Sonic running straight at him. You know, seeing a bit more damage here from Modzai on Peli. But again, it is almost a full stock lead here. Oh, he finally gets a bit confirmed, but just barely outside the percent window. Well, it wouldn't kill, but that will.
2 for 2 on 4 smashes to get a KO. It's basically a mirror match at this point, and Modzai's got to be feeling good about that one, right? That is something that was so crucial in those first 2 games, but you're not going to feel good about that back air in the blast zone. Going to be Peli up 2-1.
It feels like every time Modzai sort of gets like a bit of an inch in the set, Peli answers back immediately. Not just with like a big combo or big damage, but like a game or like a stock ending play.
It's so hard as well, because it just means that Modzai is never able to gain any momentum.
So true, yeah, so
at
true.
At any point that Modzai gets anything started, Peli just steals it away straight away. And that's the thing, Peli is able to build up momentum so easily due to the nature of his character. We can get those 2-3 pieces and then slow down the pace and then pick it back up as and when he wants. Again, he's so good at controlling the pacing of a match.
Yeah.
And it feels like even though Modzai is getting a little bit better at keeping up, he hasn't quite managed to make it his own yet.
Yeah, I completely agree with the point about the kind of momentum. It feels like, again, Peli's in that kind of perfect spacing, the kind of perfect burst range, where Modzai can't really set up for free, and Peli's able to kind of come in and punish as and when needed. But we'll see. I think there's still life in this set, perhaps. Let's see. Back on Stadium. Game number 4, Peli up 2-1. A bit more of an even start this time, but again, Peli, as he has done in the previous games, generally clawing ahead a little bit on that first stock. And again, against Sonic, doesn't matter which character you are, pretty much all the time, it's about who gets that lead. It definitely changes the pace.
Yeah, and Peli arguably with a stronger lead than he's had at the start of any of these games, but certainly the Gallagher going to try and equalize that a little bit. Only a 50% deficit here. Of course, Pac-Man can kill early, given the right circumstances, and we saw it a little bit in that game 3, but it's certainly, you know, landing that bell at this position is going to be incredibly hard.
Yeah, Modzai just dashing back and forth, finding a spot to finally land that bell, and patience is a virtue.
Modzai saying, you know what, actually it's quite easy, watch this, and just stealing the lead away as well. And now it's got to be really down to Modzai to just rack up that percentage, and we're seeing it already, 64% lead at the moment, and Peli's still struggling to find a stock in this situation.
Yeah, now Peli's the one who's sort of getting a little bit punished out of shield from Modzai here. And Modzai, yeah, finally, that momentum that we were looking for, Joyce, it feels like it's building up slowly but surely. A decent percent lead, but as we keep saying, as soon as Modzai gets an inch, Peli answers straight back once again.
He really, really does, and that's the scary part, is that even then, you know, Peli can hit the emergency hammer and decide to just go full defensive, full spin dash mode and try and force that frustration out of Modzai should he so choose to, because again, there are still 5 minutes on the clock. Both these players at this point, you've got to have that discipline to be able to deal with that kind of game plan, and we're seeing it slowly but surely. Again, these nickels and dimes are turning to big bucks in the bank account. Big
bucks in the bank account, yeah. And now we see Modzai maybe betting it all there, had Peli at the ledge, and maybe a bit overzealous there, because Peli responding straight back. Another big meaty back air. Go for another one. I'm not sure if he meant to turn around. The spring. He has to up special, tries to catch a jump.
Really good angles from Modzai just to avoid those 2 forward smashes.
Oh,
and again,
again, it feels so pivotal in terms of those big moments where Peli is immobilized by a ring-a-ding-ding bell, but wasn't to be that time.
And again, it's just a similar situation that we've seen in Stock 1 of every other game, where these 2 players have to be so delicate around each other at the moment. And even then, Modzai had that opportunity to really run with that momentum, and it just didn't quite work out. But managing to get the bell, just colliding with it, strangely enough, and not getting any kind of punish from it. These trades are looking a little wacky at the moment here, but Peli avoiding all these shenanigans and just running straight into the dash attack.
Raw dash attack there from Peli, yeah. I think Modzai actually had Peli on the ledge there, decided not to set up, and again, I swear, Peli, we talk about stylistic Sonics, Peli is the back air Sonic. I feel like he is the back air Sonic. It is doing so much work for him in this set, as it has done in many others. And now, it's no use, is the chant from the crowd. And I hope Modzai's headphones are loud enough.
Yeah, I was going to say, and it's so hard because you've got to keep your mental at this point where Peli does not have to approach in any way, shape, or form, and even then that situation where you can throw all the projectiles, but Peli's got a shield and a spin dash and is able to just get so much mileage. That could have been the end of the set should that spin dash have connected, but Peli just making the set run that little bit longer.
Oh, nice bit of damage again. Another back air from Peli. Damage climbing here. It feels like a mountain to climb for Modzai here. Modzai taking time to set back up. Oh, just the ability for Peli dodging through. Oh, gosh.
It's so interesting to see as well, right?
Oh!
There's not much more to say. Peli just with a dominant showing in that matchup. Just being able to, like you said, just weave in and out, just really vary the pacing and keep Modzai guessing at each and every turn. And even in those crucial little moments where it felt like Modzai had it, Peli just had it all the way through. It was very, very impressive to see, honestly.
Yeah, I wasn't quite sure how the set was going to play out in that way when we sat down here. But yeah, great stuff to Peli. I thought he played that matchup pretty much immaculately for the most part.